Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's on-demand wellness session, Yoga for Neck and Shoulder Stiffness. Leading the session is Dr. Susan Marcus, a research psychologist and faculty in the School of Psychology. She is also a yoga instructor and practitioner. Without any further ado, I will turn it over to Dr. Susan Marcus.
In today's class, we'll be working on neck and shoulders. I thought this was a perfect, short practice to do because most of us stay hunched over our computers for a long time during the day, and by the end of the day, you end up with your shoulders up over your neck and your chest collapse. And it can result in some shoulder and neck pain and problems. Now, this practice isn't for people with acute shoulder injuries like tears or dislocations. It's really fine if you've had some chronic trouble over the time, or you just have general aches and pains, or if you want to do anything where at the end of the day, you can get a nice stretch in your upper body, in your chest, and your shoulders, and you'll feel better. So here's our first pose. I'll do it from the side so you can see. You'll have either your bolster, and this is my dog, William. He always likes to be here when I'm practicing. Okay, so either you'll have your bolster towards the back of your mat. If you don't have a bolster, take a couple of blankets about this size and fold them into long rectangles. So the long rectangles go at the edge of the mat. You may need another blanket for your head, and that depends on the shape of your body. One of the things in yoga, we get to know the shape and structure of our own body. Not that it's a critical knowledge, it's just, that's how it is. Some of you may, over time, have noticed that your back has rounded. So if your back is rounded and you lie down, your head is going to be thrown back like this. And in that case, you need a support under your head. So the way we begin this first pose, it's a lying down pose, is you put your feet in the wall, slide your bottom towards your feet so you're catching that fleshy part and pulling it towards your feet, and then you lie down. So you can see my legs are straight. The lumbar, this area, is not pushing to the floor, but it's just mildly stretched. Then if I needed a blanket for support for my head so my shoulders were up, I would put this blanket underneath my head for support. Okay? So what you're looking for here in this first pose is, we call this pose Supta Tadasana, lying down mountain pose, so that you can feel the backs of your legs, the whole back of your leg pressing into the floor. Your abdomen is soft, there's no pushing. Your shoulders can easily go towards the floor, and the back of your neck is long. From here, you'll take your belt and take it shoulder width apart, right at the elbows. Now, if you have really tight shoulders, go a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Be sure not to put the buckle on your skin. So here, can you see where the belt is? Right at the elbow joint, all right? And once it's here, I can push into the belt and straighten the arms. My palms are facing each other. The shoulders are on the floor. So even this action, you may feel, as the belt, as you push into the belt, that the upper chest is starting to broaden. That's the idea of this pose. And then turn your palms so that they're facing the wall, and slow and steadily, evenly, bring your hands to the support. Then you push your feet into the wall, extend your arms away from you, keeping your abdomen soft. You'll feel a lengthening in the body and an openness in the front of the chest. This should not create any pain in the shoulder, but should help increase shoulder mobility. And you can do that. See, I'm coming down, and I keep pushing into the belt. You can do that several times. So you can coordinate the breath with the movement as well. So I exhale, and then as I inhale, I bring my arms over my head. And as I exhale, I bring them to the floor. Extend the arms away from the trunk. Push the feet into the wall. And then breathe normally, a few breaths. And then I bring my arms up. See, I'm still pushing into the belt. There's a real power in getting the arms to straighten through the elbows. It engages the forearm muscles as well as both the biceps and the triceps. We'll try it one more time. So you inhale and come up. Face the palms away from you. Exhale as you come down. Extend the arms. Push the feet into the wall. Stretch your arms away from your trunk. And relax your throat. And breathe here for a few moments. This also is a nice pose to do in bed. So you can just lie on your bed. Just make sure you're not going to hit your hands into the headboard or the wall. Have a pillow to support your upper arms. And then again, move the arms. See, you're helping the arm, the upper arm bone, the humerus rotate successfully, easily in the shoulder joint. Again, of course, if there's any pain there, stop doing it. About creating suffering, it's about the end of suffering. So when you come out of a pose, any kind of lying down pose, the safest way is to bend your knees, roll onto your right side, and then use your left hand to bring yourself up. Okay? So that's the first pose. You can do it independent of any other pose. You can do it during the middle of the day, when you go to bed, or when you wake up in the morning. This next pose, all you need is a wall. And this is for opening up the neck and shoulder area. So we can do this in two ways. I'll show you both ways. Here's the palm of my hand. I'm going to come in close so you can see. All right? Here is the heel of the hand. These are the metacarpals, right behind the knuckles. And these are the fingerprints and the thumb and finger. And you'll see, I'll say to spread the palms wide, reaching the thumb away and the finger away. Even doing this action, for those of us who spend a lot of time on computer keyboards and mouses, the tightness of the hands and the wrists go right up into the neck and shoulder. So the first step of this next pose is to spread your hand and put your hand as wide as you can at the wall, and then stand as straight as you can with your arm against the wall. Spread the palm, feel the heel of the hand go in, the metacarpals, and the prints of the thumbs and finger. Right there, you're going to start feeling something going up into the neck and into the shoulders. In a good way. A little bit of tingling is okay. Now here's the pose. Drop your shoulder and lift your elbow. And turn slightly away. Hold it for about 15 seconds. It's effortful. You'll feel an intense stretch through the whole arm, right into the hand, and then let go. Okay? And then you do the other side. So this way you can see it from the back. So I spread my palm as wide as I can and get the whole heel of the hand on the wall so the wrist is flexed. And then I stand. It may be more comfortable for you to stand with your feet apart. That's fine. If you do so, watch my feet. Turn your feet slightly out and lean into your heels. That'll help keep your legs nice and strong. Make sure that your hand is not above your shoulder. If even up here is too much, you can always go a little bit lower. But I'm right about at the level of the shoulder. I spread the palm, drop the shoulder, and lift the elbow. So the elbow point here is really tight. And then I push my hand into the wall, shoulder down, elbow up, and just turn slightly away. So this shoulder blade here is starting to slide towards the spine. And I hold it for about 10 or 15 seconds. And then release. And then we'll do it again. Same thing. Spread the palm. And now this, you can also do this pose when you need a little break from your computer. Also a perfect pose to practice. Just stand up and find a wall. Feet apart, heels wider than the toes. Stretch the arm. Spread the palm. Keep the wrist as flexed as you can. Drop the shoulder, lift the elbow, push into the hand. Hold for 10 or 15 seconds. Keep putting the weight into the heels and just keeping a nice open chest and a benevolent disposition. And then release, and let's do the other side. Same thing. So press the hand, spread the fingers. Make sure you can look at your hand and make sure you may see that the nails are kind of rolling to the pinky side of the hand. If you can roll the nail beds to the thumb side of the hand, that'll work the pose even more effectively. Because that way you're getting your whole hand on the wall. Stretch the arm, stand straight, drop the shoulder, lift the elbow, press the hand, and then turn slightly away so that shoulder blade goes in towards the spine. You may feel, again, a tingling right up through the neck or in the wrist or even in the elbow. And then release. All right, the variation on this pose, if this is working, and you may feel, once you get done, just let your hands go by your side. Try not, when you do a pose like this, try not to shake your hands out because we're trying to put something in. We don't want you to shake it out. All right, a variation on this pose, which is a little bit more intense, instead of having the fingers pointing towards the ceiling, is you turn your palm away from you. So that's a more intense stretch along the forearm right up into the shoulder. So you can see that my palm is turned straight back. And then again, feet apart, heels wider than the toes. Stand in the heels, lift the chest. Drop your shoulder down, lift your elbow up, push into your hand. And then slightly, just a little bit, turn away from the arm, and you'll feel an intense stretch through the whole arm. Tricep, bicep, forearm muscles, even into the tendons and connective tissue of the hand. And then we do the other side. Same thing. You can see now from the back. You turn the palm in the opposite direction, have it lined up with the shoulder, spread the palm, adjust the shoulder down, stand with your weight in your heels, shoulder down, elbow up, press into the palm, and then turn slightly away and hold for 10 or 15 seconds. These poses you can repeat 2 or 3 times and also do them a couple of times a day. But they're really amazing in terms of relieving and minimizing shoulder and neck pain. And then release. And then stand for a moment and see how you feel. Another variation of this pose, again, all you need is a wall, is to take, and let's see if you can see this from the side. Now, instead of having my palm on the wall, I'm going to take my palm on the wall, but behind me. So watch, I'm going to slide my palm back and put my whole arm right up to the shoulder. Can you see? I'm going to roll that shoulder onto the wall. So I'm really leaning on the wall. I have to move my head out of the way. And then with the other hand, I'll wrap it around my back waist and then press my whole arm into the wall and slightly turn away. This opens up the area, we call this the armpit chest area, but it stretches the pectoralis muscles, the front shoulder muscles, the front deltoid muscle. Again, hold it for 10 or 15 seconds. I'll show you it from behind. Okay? So again, palm, and try not to have the arm higher than the shoulder. If the shoulder is really tight, you can be lower than the shoulder, but palm, forearm, elbow, and the front of the shoulder on the wall. I get as close as I can. I get my head out of the way. I wrap my other arm around the waist, push into the wall, and turn the chest. It's a mild turn because the pose is intense. You'll feel again this shoulder blade sliding into the back and a big opening on the front of the chest. Okay, and so let's repeat that one more time. If you're doing this with me, or if you're just using it at a later time, you can follow along with this video and have a nice half-hour practice. So one more time. Stretch the arm, elbow, shoulder, and you can even use your hand under your armpit to turn the armpit so it's really on the wall and your shoulder is back. And then bring your opposite arm around and then just lean onto the wall and open that pectoralis area. Feel the shoulder blade move into your back. And then release. And now let's do the other side. Arm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder. Grab the armpit chest. You can see me from behind, pulling that around. Wrap the arm. Press the palm and the shoulder in. And open up the front of the chest. And then you come out, and then just stand with your arms by your side. Now, after a practice like that, it's nice to stretch the whole body out. And you'll use a wall for this. I'll show you from the side and from the back. You'll bring yourself close to the wall with your toes about 2 inches from the wall. Have your feet wide, and I don't know if you can see from here, but watch down at my feet as I turn my heels a little wider than my toes. That helps make the legs straight and strong, but I'm only a couple inches from the wall. I put my forehead on the wall, and then just slow and steady, stretch my arms up the wall. People with really tight shoulders, you can stretch your arms out to the side. But see if you can go to the arms are absolutely straight, or slide with your palms, heels of the hand, metacarpals, fingerprints on the wall. Lift up as high as you can. Bring your shoulders down. Now here's the important part. Keep your head on the wall. Press your weight into your heels and move the middle of your buttocks forward. So your legs are working. Your arms are reaching up the wall, palms flat, and your brain is quiet. And you hold this for 10 or 15 seconds. Make sure the elbows, remember how tight they were when you had the belt on? So try doing that, keeping the elbows just as strong. Okay? So you saw that from the side, and I hope you saw the actions of the legs. This is what it looks like from the back. Again, I'm just a couple inches from the wall. No one's going to come in the door, so I think I'll be okay. My head's at the wall, and then you can see maybe now with my feet. You can see most people, probably yourself, stand with your heels in. And here I'm asking you to take your heels a little wider than the toes and to shift your weight into the heels. And then again, if your shoulders are tight, your hands will go wide. My forehead's on the wall. And then I'm going to slide my hands up the wall. And you can see if you're watching what happens when I really reach my arms. My whole rib cage goes with the arms. And I push into my feet and reach up with the arms. And you hold this for about 10 or 15 seconds. Reach up with the arms. Push down into the feet. Move the thighs back. Move the middle of the buttocks forward and reach up with the arms. And then slowly let your arms come down. And then you can come and stand. And just observe how much taller you can stand. How much more ease there is in your standing. All right, this next one may not require any props, depending on how tight your shoulders are. All right, so I'll demonstrate it from the side and the back. I'll show you with a prop and without. So without a prop, I'm standing with my feet, again, slightly apart with the heels wider than the toes, and I reach behind, and I can hold on to my upper arm. Can you see where my fingers are? And then turn the flesh of the upper arm out. So do you see the difference, how the chest is collapsed? But when I use my hand on my arm to turn the upper arm out, the whole chest lifts, and this area stretches and lifts as well. This is what it looks like from the back. See, my arm is across my upper back, and I turn and open this up. You can do this one at your desk for sure. And then here's the other side. I reach behind, grab the arm, and I want to turn it not inward, but outward. So the shoulder rolls back, and the arm turns out. And again, you hold it about 10 or 15 seconds. Now let's just suppose there's real tightness in the shoulders, or you have shorter arms. So in that case, you would use a belt and put the belt around your upper arm. And make sure the tail of the belt is going towards the back of your body. So I have the belt on my upper arm. And now, if I can't reach that arm, I can certainly reach the belt. And then the action of turning the arm is up to the arm where the belt is on. Turning the arm and then using your hand on the belt to move the arm back. And again, you hold it 10 or 15 seconds. Okay, so that is one you can do at your desk. Just come stand up. You can grab an arm, turn it out, hold for 10 or 15 seconds, release, do the other arm, turn it out, hold for 10 or 15 seconds. This next pose requires a belt. We call this a shoulder jacket. You'll see why. So you have the belt like in a nice big loop. And I'm going to put the belt on like I would put on a vest or a sweater. Okay, so you can see from here and from here. And then I'm going to tighten the belt. And I want to tighten the belt fairly snug, and then make sure that the belt buckle is not going to be poking onto anything painful. All right, so you can see the belt is fairly snug. And then here's the magic of this pose. So here, the outer bones of the shoulder, I take the belt and I just pull it to the outer bones of the shoulder and stand. So you can see what the belt is doing. It's moving the shoulders back and opening the chest. And you can stay in the belt for several minutes. Just stretch your arms and stand. You can walk around. You can't really do anything with your hands because you're kind of bound up. You may feel after about 30 or 40 seconds a little tingling. That's okay. Your arms may go to sleep. You can hold this pose and wear this for 2 or 3 minutes. And that's okay. Even if your arms go to sleep, it'll be like, being on your leg and the leg goes to sleep. It takes a couple minutes for it to come back, but it's all fine. But you can see how this simple shoulder jacket helps to lift the chest, move the collarbones apart, and get the whole back chest to open. The other nice thing about this is it's right at my shoulder blades. So it's helping to move the shoulder blades in the right direction, close into the back. And then to come out, you just slide the belt off. Find the you loosen the buckle and take it off. The last pose that we have for today is a simple, sweet seated twist. So this is a yoga chair. You see that I have the back cut out of it. That's because a lot of things that we do in yoga practice is we are able to sit through the back of the chair. And then you have a nice set of handholds. But most people don't have a chair like this, but you can get an ordinary folding chair or even a dining room chair as long as it doesn't have arms, all right? And so I'll do this from the side so you can see. So I'll sit in the chair from the side, and I don't want to sit quite so comfortably. I want to have my feet firmly on the floor and my bottom butt slightly away from the back of the chair so I'm not leaning back. Now, adjust the chair so that if you're short, in other words, if your legs don't hit the ground, you can put a blanket underneath your feet. If you're tall and you need more height under the chair for that nice right angle, put a blanket on top of the chair. You see, it heightens the chair. Now I can't reach the floor. So that's sort of the Goldilocks factor of finding and using a proper support. Too big, no good. Too small, no good. You've got to find your just right. So for the simple seated twist, you'll take your hand. If you do have a chair, even a simple folding chair, where you can reach between the back of the chair and the seat and reach through and hold. You'll hold with your right hand. So I'm sitting in the chair and my knees are even, my feet are apart. I'll demonstrate this from the front as well. Hold on to the chair with your right hand and then use your left hand on your outer right thigh. Now, when I turn, everything from down here stays. I'm not turn. See, if I turn from the hips, do you see how my legs change? All I want to do is turn from the waist. So I keep the hip and knees even and turn from the waist. If I want to get a little bit more of a twist, I take the elbow of my left arm forward and the elbow of my right arm back. You hold this for 10 or 15 seconds and then release and then do the other side. Reach behind with the left hand, reach in front with the right hand, hold on to the sides of the chair and the thigh, keep the knees even. Then start to turn from the waist, move the elbow forward and the elbow back. So the arms are like the levers to turn the spine. Okay, I'll show you from the front. And we can do this together again, or you can do it. Twists are wonderful to do at least twice. So you can see that my knees are in line with my hip bones. And then my feet are in line with my hips. And then when I start to turn, this doesn't move. This stays the same. Do you see? And I'm not leaning back or forwards. I'm just lifting straight up. So you can imagine a line between the bottom of the tailbone, right at the pelvic floor, and the crown of your head. That line stays straight and long. And then when you turn, it's like your rib cage is turning around that spine, turning around to pull. Again, hand in the back of the chair, hold tight. Other hand grips the thigh. And then as you pull your elbows apart, the upper chest, the middle chest, the lower chest, right at the waist turns. So in addition to being great for the chest, the shoulders, and the neck, it's also really good for the digestion. Last side, keep the knees even, keep the thighs even, and turn. and then release. And that's the end of our neck and shoulders class. I hope you enjoyed the class. I hope you'll practice. And I'm sure there'll be some contact information if you have any questions. Namaste. All done.